offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we go again, another day helping you win in any marketplace. We'd love for you to save our hotline number in your phone at some point. You may need it. Give us a call. Shoot us a text message, 813-750-0550. You can call or text our hotline, 813-750-0550. We promise to give you the absolute best advice, link you up with over 50-plus show partners that we have here, attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, lots of ways we can help you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, put you in touch with our expert panel, our expert team out there. And, of course, on the real estate side, we want to help you win if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. We've got some great opportunities here in beautiful Tampa Bay, and we want to start off with a couple of our hot listings here that we can promote for you on air as well. If you're selling a property, we would love to help you with your properties as well. 1010 Bay Esplanade. This is a property that is on the north side of Clearwater Beach. Beautiful property, great opportunity here at 1010 Bay Esplanade, Clearwater Beach. You're surrounded by million-dollar homes and a very nice zip code to live in, one of the hottest zip codes in all of Tampa Bay. Almost 3,200 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2-car garage, and apartment, private apartment and rental, as well as a sun deck, private sun deck as well on the third-story property. 6513 South County Line Road. If you're looking for vacant land, looking to lay down some roots, build a new home, you got an opportunity here at 6513 South County Line Road in Plant City. This is a gorgeous property. The owners are motivated, super nice folks to work with as well. 5-acre lot, zoned for 2 homes or 1 home and a large building. Let's say you had a contractor-based business, something like that. You could build a nice industrial-style building back there. Backs up to English Creek Preserve, natural springs located on the property. Easy access to local roads and commutes there at our property at 6513 South County Line Road in beautiful Plant City, Florida, home of the Strawberry Festival coming up very soon as well. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And a quick shout out to Discovery Golf Cars, a.k.a. Golf Cart Depot, for recreation or business. Seems like everyone's getting a golf car these days. And they've got lots of makes and models available. Star, EV, Easy Go, Cushman, new and pre-owned available as well. And you can rent or buy. They offer financing as well. Say hello to our friends at Discovery Golf Cars. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, let's make our introductions here. We got a great lineup for you today. We're going to talk about credit. Some of the changes, of course, you're seeing a lot of changes nationally. It seems like anything that previously existed to the new administration is bad, and we're changing it, or even talking about changing credit scores now. So William Crowley is going to weigh in on that. Lisa Walls as well, and Thomas Yunk. You may have heard him on a previous show. Cons Helping Cons, really cool program that he has, nonprofit, where he's helping rehabilitate folks and getting them back into the workforce, back into status as a taxpayer, and just doing a great job, Thomas Young. So let's make our introductions. Lisa Walls, ladies first, the Ghost Publishing. Welcome back, Lisa.
Thanks so much for having me, Brandon. I appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. And say hello to Eli Forrest and everybody over there. Great team you have writing our book, Quarterbacking Success, my 3rd book coming out very soon. Real excited about that. And give us a little teaser what you're going to talk about today.
Well, we do a lot of coaching with people who are trying to publish their book, and they're looking at all the options. And today I want to talk about some things we coached a group with this week, and that is some myths surrounding publishing, self-publishing, using a traditional publisher. Sometimes it takes an industry insider to be able to really get down and dirty and help people discern the good, the bad, the ugly, and really what's going to work for them.
Yeah. I just had a listing appointment. The gentleman was a character. He was hamming it up in the listing appointment. I said, "You need to write your book. Remind me off air to introduce you to this gentleman named Gil. He needs to write a book. He definitely does. He's got some great stories, and he loves telling those stories. So we'll definitely make that connection. Also, William Crowley, the credit magician, back on the show. What's going on, William?
Hey, credit magician on the radio, credit man in the hood.
That's right.
So I want to talk today about the President Biden's plan to change credit reporting and scoring. It's kind of similar to the stimulus package. There's a lot of pork in there, and the primary answers aren't really being answered. So I want to politely disagree with them and then offer some alternative views on how we can really correct the credit industry. Credit reporting agencies, rather.
Yeah, I've even heard it. I saw one of the posts. I think it might have been Charlie Kirk or Sebastian Gorka is saying credit's racist now. It's also a claim that credit's racist. You said, and you tell me firsthand. You've worked with white, Latino, black.
Right. I have more clients that are white with bad credit than come to me than the black clients and the minorities.
Right.
Supposedly. So.
Right.
I don't know. I think they're just kind of overblowing this racist issue. Well, I don't think I know they are. It's monetarily advantageous for them.
Oh yeah, to play the victim and generate and generate that interest that way. So William Crowley's here on the show, and you've heard William talking about credit scoring, and it's a big part of your life now. It's not just when you're buying an asset, buying real estate, buying a car. It's a situation where it's affecting all parts of life now, William.
Yeah. Okay, so. Yeah, let me go ahead and get into this then. That's great. Are you doing the introductions, or are you ready for us to get into it?
Let's do it. Let's dive deep, man.
Oh, you got it. Okay. The article, I like to give people the source what I'm going to be talking about, and you can go on Google and you can search Forbes Advisor, and it's the title of the article is President Biden's Plan to Change Credit Reporting and Scoring. And the authors of the article is the contributor is Michelle Black. And, of course, the editor of the article is Caroline Lupino, Lupini. So this article is dated or updated February 22nd. So let's delve right into this. I've been in the industry for over in the credit industry for over 20 years. In lending, I've been doing lending for about 30 years. So some people say I'm an expert. I don't like to get tied all up in the titles. One thing I do is I've done credit repair. I like to refer to it as credit restoration assistance. I've been doing that for 20 years, day in and day out. This is all that I do, and I've kind of got a different idea on how we can correct this credit reporting agency's the problems. So first of all, what it says here in the article, there's a couple of issues I want to address, but let me just give you some insight on what the article is about. So the Biden administration is kind of working with a liberal think tank called Demos, okay, Demos, and they have offices in New York and Washington, D.C. And what they're trying to do is work with the Biden administration and creating what they call a public credit reporting agency. And right now, what they want to do is they're saying that they're proposing that it just competes with the current credit reporting agencies, which is Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And through their competition, one day they could probably replace it. Now, I'm not opposed to that at all. I don't mind looking at alternative strategies and ideals on dealing with contradictions. But here's the thing with that. Okay, before we even introduce or try to reinvent the wheel, let's make sure that we're addressing the correct contradictions inside the credit reporting agencies. Now, what they're saying is that there's a redlining, there's a lot of racial disparities in the credit reporting agencies. The lady that is the associate director of policy and research at Demos, her name is Amy Traub, Traub. And let me just read verbatim what she says. She says here that in the credit industry, essentially, that the credit reporting agencies aren't necessarily racist, but the policies of the past called redlining and other type of disparities have shut black and other minority families out of the credit industry, particularly in housing. So, and some of the experts that disagree with her are saying that John Ozenheimer, who is a nationally recognized credit expert, formerly of FICO and Equifax, and then also there's a Michael Turner, PhD, president and CEO of PERC, the acronym standing for Policy and Economic Research Council. what they're saying is that these people are disputing what Amy Traub is saying from Demos, is that if we're talking about lending, then you got to deal with the lenders. You're not going to deal with the credit reporting agencies. There's probably disparities in lending. Now, nobody's disagreeing that there possibly is some type of racism going on. There's injustices going on throughout the world, even in the United States. But they say that some of this stuff carried over from decades of racist policies like redlining that shut out black and other minority communities.
But hasn't that been eliminated for quite some time now? And prosecuted.
It's been eliminated through the issuance of the Fair Credit Reporting Act in 1970, and then later the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Yeah. But I want to make sure that people understand what this article is entailing, so that we can go after it. Now, in saying that, the current stimulus package, if people have looked at it, about 1% of the money is going to the people. Okay, is addressing COVID or coronavirus. The rest is a bunch of what we call pork. It's going to everything. I say it's primarily going to bail out democratically ran
that's right.
States.
Blue states.
Blue states that have poorly mismanaged their finances in the past, and so they're using it as a bailout. And then it's going to a ton of other things, but none of it's going to the people. And so I believe that this here public credit reporting agency is going to be doing the same thing. The real problem with the credit reporting agencies is that they're investigating themselves. I said that over and over and over again on this show. The Fair Credit Reporting Act was created by Congress in 1970. So if we properly use the Fair Credit Reporting Act and then create an independent agency to do the investigation of the derogatory information on a person's credit report, we can correct the majority of the problems with the credit reporting agencies. Make sure we're clear on this, okay? What they're doing is they're dancing around it. They're talking about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and having that be the overseer of the credit reporting agency, creating this new public credit reporting agency. When in fact, all we have to do to address the problems is take the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which they talked about a little bit in this article, but they didn't expound on it. Even the experts didn't address this. That's the two gentlemen that I mentioned, which was Michael Turner and John Alzheimer, and I'm sure there's other experts as well. I'm not trying to say that they didn't contribute effectively to the article or to dealing with this contradiction, but more importantly, the issue that wasn't addressed is the use of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Now, they said in the article, not only do credit reporting errors occur, they are sometimes difficult to correct. The Fair Credit Reporting Act.
Let me add something too, William, because what you're saying, with the initial claim and what you started talking about when you were mentioning Amy Traub, she was talking about policies of the past shut certain people out. But what they're doing is they're using an old argument of redlining, and they're trying to relate it to here and now, 2021. And and correct me if I'm wrong, but the number one determinant of your credit score is if you pay your bills on time. Time. So that's the number one thing. Yeah. So if they don't care if you're white, black, yellow, or red. Right. When you pay your bills, if you pay them on time, then you're going to have a higher credit score. Bottom line.
Exactly, and there's no way to racially discriminate based on that. If you pay your bills on time, then they can't racially discriminate. So this article that Demos is trying to portray is saying, listen, okay, we're going to totally discard the current credit reporting agency, which is not the most effective thing to do, because even if bringing in a new credit reporting agency, you're still going to have the same problems. Okay, the errors are going to still exist. The errors are going to exist because you don't have an independent agency doing the investigation. So the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which was created by Congress, pretty much eliminated redlining and all types of what you want to call racial inadequacies or racial disparities of the past when it comes to lending. But the credit reporting agencies are not lenders, okay? So the demos could deal with the lending agency for that. But starting a whole new credit reporting agency is not going to change that, because you still have to pay your bills on time. Okay? So if we just use the Fair Credit Reporting Act like it's supposed to be used in identifying negative information on a credit report that's been reported incorrectly. The Fair Credit Reporting Act is going after information that is a violation of due process. It's not so much whether the information is inaccurate or not. The bottom line is that the credit reporting agency says when the Fair Credit Reporting Act says when the credit reporting agency receives information, they must verify this information with the consumer prior to putting the information on the credit report.
Right. And they don't do that. That's the big challenge.
They don't
By the way,
that.
William, we got about a minute left, so why don't we just prep up your credit package if we want to offer that. I don't think we've offered that to our listeners in a while. And then, give us your final thought.
Okay. So great. In this credit package, we've got a lot of great information there. We want to show people, Credit Restoration Assistance wants to show people how to do their own credit repair, dispel all the myths of credit repair the traditional companies display. We're going to give that to you in a package. We're also going to show you how to use a promotional block to protect your identity, which is the biggest perpetrator of identity theft is the credit reporting agencies themselves. So we can use the promotional block as one way to prevent the credit reporting agencies from releasing our information to arbitrary buyers out there. They can use that information for indiscretionary means.
Yep.
So in that package, it's going to have a promotional block and the Fair Credit Reporting Act and the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. We're going to show you how to deal with collectors by issuing a validation of debt to any collector. Never pay a collector, never ignore a collector.
Perfect. Text the word credit if you'd like more information. Text credit to 813-750-0550. We'll get you that free credit package for the first 3 listeners who text in 813-750-0550. And for the first 3 listeners, just text the word credit to our hotline. We'll put you in touch with William Crowley, the credit magician, the credit man in the hood. He's the credit expert on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, good job, man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that current update.
All right, buddy.
Take care. All right, coming up, Lisa Walls on the flip side. We're going to talk to Lisa Walls, the Ghost Publishing, about myths surrounding publishing and how you can become a published author. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
My name is James DeJerome, and I produce the Consumer Quarterback Show for Brandon Rhymes. The Consumer Quarterback Show is a team, a group of like-minded professionals who partner together to provide our audience sound advice, knowledge, and information to make them wiser consumers. We work with all types of business owners and aggressively promote our local economy. We're currently conducting interviews for our expert contributors. If you own a business or know someone who would benefit from the exposure our show provides, please contact us at 813-750-0550 or online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP Team. Keller Williams Realty, 12500 Hamlin Road. This is a great opportunity for builder, developer, investors. 12500 Hamlin Road. This is 41 acres in Spring Hill, Pasco County. Great buying opportunity for investors out here. It's just a blank slate if you want to go out and build single-family homes, maybe put apartments, complex. just contact your county. You got to find out exactly what they're going to allow in there zoning-wise. But investors, talk to me about 12500 Hamlin Road up in Pasco County. Great buying opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Similar property is 12208 Four Oaks Road, another property that's vacant land. It actually has a single-family home on it, but it's more of an investor opportunity at 12208 Four Oaks Road in Tampa. This one is in Carrollwood, and you got an opportunity again for 5 acres, R9 zoning. You put 40 units on this property, and you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Lisa Wall's joining us now, the Ghost Publishing. She's actually a ghostwriter for the team. The godfather of ghostwriting is Eli Gonzalez. You've heard him on the show. And Lisa, it's there's a lot of myths when it comes to publishing, and talk to us about some of the things that you're seeing.
Yeah, we do a lot of coaching, Brandon, and like you, we consider ourselves consumer advocates. We're in an industry that people don't know a lot about, but they really need to know more before they can make good decisions for themselves. So we do try to advocate for, the publishing structure or the type of program that would help that author the most, regardless of where they're at in the process. So we do have a few myths that we often come across that people believe commonly about the industry, and I just wanted to share a couple with you. Myth number one, I have a book, and all I have to do is find an agent, because they'll find a publisher for my book. It may take a little while, but at least I'll get a nice advance if it gets picked up by a traditional publisher. That is a complete mess. Gone are the days of advances. They're only reserved for your New York Times best-selling authors, and really only the top tier of those. And an advance is nice if you can get it, but really it's an advance on revenue that you would have earned on the back end anyway with your royalties. So it's something that they're going to take out on the back end anyway. And in the meantime, you've given up potentially control of your project and rights to your project, depending on your contract, and a certain amount of royalties to your project. So it's a nice thought to think that we can still pursue that if we've written something that we want to get out to the public. But you need to be careful with that, because the advances, they don't exist anymore, and then you'd be giving up an awful lot of control and your ability to maybe create a sequel or turn your book into a movie. So so there are a lot of risks with that, and people they want the advance, but they don't realize that there are actually risks to go after it, and the advance doesn't come. So they need to know that that's a myth. And secondly, another myth is, I'm going to have to give up some of my rights and royalties to get published anyway. So, what does that really matter? Well, the reality is no. There are lots of options out there where you keep 100% of your rights and royalties. And, there are lots of self-publishing options, and there are lots of what we consider ourselves a hybrid publisher, with something in between the traditional and the self-publishing, because we do offer services that bring the book to the public. But at the same time, we don't ever ask for rights, royalties, and there are lots of options out there for writers. So they don't have to give up their rights and royalties. And again, we have books that are becoming movies this year. So your book becoming a movie, completely possible. So be careful when you're pursuing publishing that you're looking at that as a real factor in your decision. Your rights and your royalties, they mean something. But the third myth that I think is probably the most prevalent is for people who've researched the topic. I like the idea of self-publishing. I do want to keep my rights and royalties.
Let's save that for the next one, Lisa. We're coming into our break. Sorry to cut you off there. But yeah, so we're talking with Lisa Walls here, the Ghost Publishing, and some of the common myths that you find. And yeah, if you get into a relationship with the wrong agent, the wrong ghostwriter, it can cost you a lot in the long run. So you got to be careful about that. So I love how we're warning for that for anyone out there that's interested in writing a book. Stay with us. We'd love to talk to you more about that, make an introduction to Lisa and her team right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Coming up as well, our feel-good story of the day. Doctor and nurses pack up SUV and drive through a snowstorm to save premature babies. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook. We'll be right back after the short break.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Lisa, just stand by until we are given the clearance to continue. Alrighty, in that case, everyone, please stand by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Shout out to Veteran Gutters. Brandon Porter and his team do a great job with gutters. And if you're looking to add those onto your home, work with a local company right here that you can trust. Veteran Gutters, American-made product. And, of course, we love to support our men and women of the United States Armed Forces, our veterans out there. Veteran Gutters, friend of the program here, veterangutters.com. And we want to help you in your real estate deals as well. And as a listing client, we would feature your properties on our syndicated show, get you a lot of exposure, 85 different outlets here with the Consumer Quarterback Show, 801-803 Palm Avenue in Tampa. And we've also got 1905 Taliaferro. These are three properties that are somewhat connected. East Palm Avenue in Tampa, 3 side-by-side lots. It's a great development opportunity, a great development play. Plus, they are earning income. These are cash cow properties right here in Tampa Bay, earning income, being rented daily as a hostel, and also some monthly rentals as well. Check out these properties at 801-803 Palm Avenue in Tampa, and also Taliaferro is 1905 Taliaferro, downtown, close to great proximity to downtown Ybor City, and a great investment opportunity for folks in the market here in Tampa Bay, one of the hottest real estate markets in the country. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Somewhere sunny and 75. And we're talking with Lisa Walls, the ghostpublishing.com, right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And I've had, a great experience with her and her team writing my third book right now in the process, Quarterbacking Success, how to, it's the blueprint on how to grow your real estate riches, millionaire real estate business. And we would love that. So let's go back to the third point you were making there, Lisa. You were talking about some of the common myths surrounding publishing.
Yes, and this is the most prevalent myth, I think, when people are looking for their publishing options. Self-publishing is free. That is a complete myth. There are hard costs involved with publishing that everybody has to pay, whether it's your ISBN, your book's identification number, that actually creates record of its publication, so it's not officially published until it has an ISBN, to actually get designers to lay out the pages in the book. And you really need to outsource a lot of that, because if you don't, if you try to do it all by yourself, if you try to learn all the tools and techniques, first of all, it's going to take you years to put together your book. And secondly, if it's not your area of expertise, you're going to end up with a poor product, and that absolutely will negatively impact your book sales. On Amazon, people get a sneak peek, and if they peek in there and they see the layout is unprofessional, the design is unappealing, they're going to assume that your book is therefore not worth buying. So we need to be careful about that too. Self-publishing is not free.
Yeah, that seems like a common myth, something people wouldn't understand if they didn't really know the business and know what you look at. And today it's interesting too. You see censoring and people being canceled. Dr. Seuss, the common kids books just got canceled. I know there was a couple conservative lawmakers, congressmen who had their books allegedly canceled. So this is an unway to get uncanceled here, is go directly to the Ghost Publishing.
Right. You really need a consumer advocate in your corner if you're going to publish, and you need somebody who's going to be able to just give it to you straight and more concerned about the outcome of your project than whether or not they've ticked a box and gotten a client that day. That we are just really client-centric, And we want to make sure that we offer your listeners something too, Brandon. If somebody emails us and they put quarterback show in the subject line, we'll make sure we offer them a complimentary consultation and some kind of developmental edit for a chapter they've produced, or even a manuscript review if they finish their manuscript. We want to make sure they have what they need to position themselves in the best way they can so that their choices open up and they can be more successful.
Awesome. And where do they send that email? Is it lisa@theghostpublishing.com?
That's right, lisa@theghostpublishing.com.
Perfect. So just email the QB Show in the subject line. Let them know you heard about them here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Take up those special offers and incentives. And thanks for doing that, by the way. I appreciate you offering that. So what else are you saying? I mean, do you care to comment on Dr. Seuss? I mean, it's just kind of weird how it was very prevalent. It was I think a lot of children grew up with, one fish, two fish. I mean, green eggs and ham, the whole thing. And now I don't understand how that's controversial now.
Well, I know that there are some things that they adjusted because some of these books were written in the 30s, and when they were written, it didn't have the same import that it had today.
Yeah.
One of the issues was using the word Chinaman in one of the books.
Okay.
Well, back in the 30s, that might not have been considered a racial slur. Today, it's considered a little bit of a different thing. However, canceling them, I can see updating them, a new edition.
Right.
But canceling them, that's a problem because, of course, we're free speech advocates over here.
Right.
And that's an issue for us.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable how they jump onto anything. I was reading something, too, about the Washington Redskins, and they're doing away with cheerleaders, and now they're having a co-ed dance team. I mean, where are we going with all this stuff? But, back to the basics here. When it comes to self-publishing, give us a couple other ideas, or maybe even a success story. I love the success stories, too. We've talked about Captain Will and his books and how it's really helped his business, his aviation business as well. And I think, Eli and your team, you've written you must be close to 300 books now, I believe, right?
Yeah, certainly, especially if you combine the team and all the players on the team. We're pretty strong performers in terms of production, so absolutely. But I think the success stories come from when we can coach alongside helping people produce their finished product. Because I know we've been doing this 45 days to complete your manuscript Facebook Live group, and it's been very exciting for these folks in the group. And one of the graduates, one of our alumni, she took the coaching on board so well that before her book was finished, she had booked speaking engagements off of her book just by being able to say, this book is coming on this date, and here's the title, and here's who I am, and she's engaged in speaking engagements now. So we just have a lot of people who their message is powerful, and they feel a burden to get that out, and they're following not only their dream but their calling.
Yeah.
Very successful.
Yeah, I think there's something inherent with that. I mean, if you feel like I think a large problem with people that a lot of people have when you think about depression and especially even with the Chinese virus and all these different things happening this year, more and more depression. Yeah, I think a lot of it kind of comes down to the root of, hey, I feel like I was probably more than what I'm doing with my basic 9 to 5 or whatever scenario, whatever their lot in life is. I think sometimes people know in the back of their mind, they feel this calling to write a book or to, step out in some way, manner or fashion. And they just they leave it on the table there. And I think it's God saying, hey, you have something great and let's get this out.
Yeah, and a lot of people just feel called to leadership because they see it's lacking. And the book is a way to elevate your profile and create a foundation that you can step onto and launch into leadership positions, a speaking career, being a thought leader. And we need, people who have common sense and, compassion to step up and be thought leaders.
That's right. Absolutely. Now more than ever. And, I'm considering a Pinellas County run or maybe in a state house rep run. I'm still getting my political consultants together now, so I'm not sure yet if we're doing that. But, I love that. Being a thought leader, being a leader in the community, being a force for good. And, definitely need more of that. All right. Final thoughts. We've got Lisa Walls here. And again, email her at lisa@theghostpublishing.com. Email QB Show in the subject line, and you'll be able to take her up on some special incentives. They got a 45 days to complete your manuscript coaching opportunity. You could write a book. You could hire them as a ghostwriter and get that book out. Final thoughts, Lisa.
My final thought, I think, is really based on what you do, Brandon. Being a consumer advocate is something we all in our individual businesses and professions need to step up to do. And we need to open ourselves up to talking with people more candidly about what's best for them. And I would definitely encourage listeners to, if you have a question about something, call somebody who's in that arena. Don't worry that you're taking up their time. Right now, some people have a little bit more time. We're not commuting as much. We've managed this whole life on Zoom thing. Call people. Get their feedback. You're not taxing them too much on their time. They want to help.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, great stuff. Say hello to the team for us and keep up the good work out there. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Take care. All right, coming up, we're going to talk with Thomas Yunk. You may have heard him on previous shows, Cons Helping Cons. He's got a really cool nonprofit organization. We always dedicate a portion of our show to nonprofits like Children's Cancer Center. We've even talked to Habitat for Humanity, Warwick Dunn Charities. We had the great running back for the Bucks and the Falcons, Warwick Dunn, on the show from time to time. But we're going to bring Thomas Yunk back on the show, Cons Helping Cons. Really cool how he's helping to rehabilitate prisoners and get them back into the workforce. Also, our feel-good story of the day coming up as well. Cool story about how doctors and nurses have helped out a premature baby. They drove a long ways through a snowstorm to help out a premature baby. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in 813-773-1253. Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing at 813-773-1253. Check out consumerqb.com. Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to tell you something positive here every day. Some feel-good news.
Tell me something good.
All right, so the life of a premature baby born during a winter storm in Texas was saved thanks to a team of medical professionals who traveled from East Austin to Marble Falls. So Kimberly Arias began feeling painful cramps. She's only 24 weeks pregnant at the time, and she thought, I couldn't be in labor. This seems a little early. So the cramps didn't subside, so she went to a local hospital where her baby was born. Her daughter, Zaylin, was born, weighed in just over a pound and was in need of advanced intensive care. However, the hospital she went was only level 1 hospital, did not offer the special neonatal premature care that baby would require. And they had a lot of nurses calling around the state trying to find out where, what can we do, transfer this baby. So Dr. John Lloyd finally answered the call. He's a chief at Dell Children's Medical Center in Austin, Texas. Around 5 p.m., after working a full shift, he and a couple of nurses packed up his SUV, created a mobile ICU, and set out for Marble Falls, about 55 miles away. And after arriving safely about 8 p.m., Dell set up the makeshift intensive care unit, and once the weather cleared, helicopter landed safe and was able to transfer the baby to Dell Children's Hospital. Quote, it was incredible when the helicopter lifted off. There were tons of tears from all of us, says Schubert. Feel good story of the day. There you have it. And doctors and nurses going above and beyond. That kind of brings me to a reminder here of course, any doctors, nurses, teachers, veterans, first responders out there. We do offer discounts for veterans, first responders, military, teachers, nurses for any real estate services. So if you're buying, selling, or investing, we would love to talk to you and offer you quarter half point discounts when it comes to your real estate needs. And of course, a lot of our expert contributors also have great programs for our first responders, teachers, nurses, doctors, nurses as well. So reach out to the hotline 813-750-0550, consumerqb.com, 813-750-0550. Call or text our hotline. Also hit the website consumerqb.com. Every day we talk about our listings on the show as well. We've got some hot properties here in beautiful Tampa Bay. 1813 East Knollwood is a property close to downtown. It's in the Seminole Heights area of Tampa. 1813 East Knollwood. 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, almost 1,300 square feet. That is, you got a carport, large fenced-in backyard, Seminole Heights neighborhood, newly renovated. Great opportunity to own real estate right here in Tampa Bay. 5402 U.S. Highway 92. This is a bar. It's the Finish Line Bar, available for sale right here in Tampa Bay. 5402 U.S. Highway 92 in Plant City. Great buying opportunity. It's got the 4 COP beverage license as well. Furnitures and fixtures included. 1,900 plus square feet. Large parking lot as well. Great opportunity to own real estate. Have you ever thought of being an entrepreneur and buying your own bar? Check it out at consumerqb.com. Also, the Platinum MVP Team.kw.com. And quick shout out to Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving, whether you're planning a local or long distance move, reach out to Brothers Easy Moving. They do a great job, local or long distance cross country moves, and they can even do a teleconference with you via FaceTime or maybe Facebook Messenger app. You can see a video conference as well. You can say, hey, here's what I have to move. Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, Thomas Yunk back on the show here. Cons Helping Cons. Welcome back, my friend.
Well, hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And yourself?
Man, I tell you, we had a wonderful morning. We got jobs for 3 fellas who just got out of prison. Actually, 1 out of prison, 2 out of jail in the last 3 days. And so everybody's working. It was a very fortuitous morning.
Awesome, I love that. So you're able to help place the folks. You got some folks out there hiring for ex-cons, ex-prisoners, jail. They just got out. They're ready to get back into the community and become tax-paying citizens again.
That is exactly what we do. That's what we tell these guys. So when you get out, you need to become tax-paying, responsible citizens. Prove to the community that you've repaid your debt. You know, you've paid your sentence, and you're moving forward now.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. And the recidivism rate, talk about that a little bit.
Well, our recidivism rate's less than 1%, just because we stay in touch with everybody that we help. Like, for example, these guys that I helped get the jobs this morning, I will be in touch with them now every day for the next 30 days, and then we'll probably transition to a once a week just to see how they're doing, help them with their decision-making. Because I tell you, when you first get out of prison or jail, it's a shock to the system. First off, so much has changed technology-wise, and there's just and this is a big discussion we had with the guys this morning. It's so easily to be distracted in society nowadays.
Yeah.
Because when they're inside, they had all day to study, because a lot of these guys are taking classes inside, which is wonderful. So they get out, they've got some skills. And, you know, a lot of them study their Bibles or do their spiritual readings. And when you get out, there's so many distractions. There's TV, there's radio, there's people, there's politics. There's so many distractions. I tell them, stay focused. And so that's the purpose of our mentorship, is to help them stay focused and make some good decisions in these next 30 days. And that's why we have a recidivism rate of only 5 people out of over 1,000 people that we've helped.
Yeah, that's such a key point when you look at the Cons Helping Cons program. By the way, what is the website?
Actually, we have a Facebook page. So you can just go to Facebook and look up Cons Helping Cons, free to serve.
Free to serve.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. John. I think John's gonna try to pull that up. Cons helping cons. Free to serve. All right. So that's the best place to go. And then when you look at community support, what kind of community support? We've got a lot of great folks that support, the Salem family. They're doing a lot of good things to help the community here in Tampa Bay. What kind of support would you be looking for?
Actually, I got to be honest with you. We're just so blessed right now that I've got employers helping. I'll tell you, when we first started Cons back in 2013, I couldn't get anybody to hire an ex-con. They're afraid of them. And I said to them, if you hire these guys, they're going to come to work every day because they have to, and they're just appreciative for a job.
Right.
And plus, most of them are on probation or parole, so they've got somebody looking over their shoulder. If they make a mistake, you just make you say something to me or the parole officer, and they're gone. And I got a couple of them to try it, and I'll tell you, today was a good example. All three of these jobs that we got were because the employers called me and said, "Hey, have you got anybody?" So that's just the way the tables have turned. We got people coming to us now looking for workers, whereas years ago I had to beg people to take on some of our guys.
Yeah, it's awesome. And talk about how much God plays a central point in helping rehabilitate these folks and understanding the Bible and some of the principles in there.
Well, we are faith-based. So what that means is, okay, first off, understand I'm a spiritual fellow. I'm not a religious fellow. So, and this is what I tell to all the guys, too. You have to have a spiritual basis in your life. Whatever that is okay. For me, it's Jesus Christ. And so the Bible is my standard by which I go.
Right.
And I tell these guys, once you get in, and sometimes people get offended, you talk about God, you talk about Jesus Christ, you talk about Allah, you talk about Buddha, so it's the universe. Okay, let's just agree to call it the universe. Once you get in line with the universe, and the universe will direct you, if you're in touch with the universe, things just go so well. Matter of fact, I was talking to a woman this morning who just recently got in touch with, and for her it's Christ, got in touch with Christ and now understands how to communicate with him and pray with him and follow his lead. So many doors have opened for her that have never opened in the past. She said to me this morning, "This has to be God." Absolutely it is.
Wow.
So that's why it's so important to have spirituality in your life. We are not meant to go through this life alone. And God is always with us,
That's right. Yeah, I was just listening to a pretty cool message from Joel Osteen, and he was mentioning how, throughout the day, walking into a new meeting, walking from, getting in his car, sitting at a red light, he'll thank God and thank him for his blessings that are coming, and just what a presence. What he's noticed over the years is just some really great favor that comes from that, and being more spiritual. I think we could all kind of learn a little, take away from that.
Well, and there's something to be learned there too about praying, because people, sometimes I'll say that when I'm talking about praying to guys, say, "Hey, how often do you think I pray in a day?" I say, "Okay, maybe 3-4 times." No, I pray at least 50 times a day.
Wow.
I'm like Joel. I'm sitting at a stoplight. I'm thanking God for the fact that I have a vehicle.
Yeah.
When I'm at a meal, thank you, God, for this food. When I'm home, thank you, God, for this roof over my head.
Right.
And what I've discovered is the more thankful I am, the more blessed I get.
That's right. Absolutely. And that's such a key point. It's a circle that will reinforce itself. The more that you're appreciative and grateful, and you think about that, and anybody that's listening to this, or anybody that's in the United States, first of all, we should be grateful that we live in the greatest country on the planet. And then when you break it down that you're sitting in a vehicle that probably has an air conditioning system, think about the people, so you can always compare to, people that are, hungry in other countries, no air conditioning system, barely have a roof that doesn't leak, that probably does have a roof that leaks. We got about a minute left, Thomas. Any final thoughts?
Well, just for the same thing I told these guys this morning, I said, you've been where you had nothing, and now you're starting to be blessed. Be thankful for that. And keep in line with the universe. Stay true to what you're being led to do. So that's my words for everybody today, not just the guys coming out of prison.
That's right. Yeah, awesome. I love it. And by the way, when you are in a grateful mood, you're smiling. You're probably smiling, and you're probably in a happier attitude state. And you're 31% smarter. Your mental agility studies show that you're 31% smarter by simply being in a positive state. So that's going to help you, in a lot of different situations. Help you with your relationships. It's going to help you with favor. People are going to want to do business with you. They're going to seek you out. They're going to remember you, and it's just going to be such a great way to collaborate if you are in that position. Thomas Young, Cons Helping Cons. Check him out on Facebook. Free to serve, Cons Helping Cons. Another great show. Thanks so much for tuning in and hanging out with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we would love to connect with you online. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Brandon Rhymes 1, and of course our YouTube channel, Brandon Rhymes Real Estate. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.